All right, so we'll start. I want to start by saying first and foremost, happy holidays to everybody. Um, Hope you all had a uh, wonderful season and good memories and laughs and whatnot. But we're getting close to 2022 now, and we think for us this was an insane year. Um, lot of building, lot of developing. A lot of really cool things happen, and for me personally, it's like a blur, like you think back to all the things that were achieved and accomplished this year, and you get to a point where you say to yourself, like, we did so much, but obviously there's still so much to go. So looking at December, we saw some really, really cool things happen. Um, McCann, from a marketing perspective, Tom has been holding regular meetups with the community on some of the documents that McCann has sent over from, what they think about on a brand level and how they feel about on a website level, and marketing and all these different things. So if you had a chance to catch some of those, they've been, it's really, really solid stuff that McCann's putting together. Um, and Tom, do we have with McCann any updates further that you'd like to comment on?
I mean, we wrapped up the discovery and the positioning, phases with them. Really now, we're taking all of that work and what we're doing with them is going to be now actually putting this stuff, to work. So not only through our own, organic channels that we control, but also paid advertising. The paid advertising that, they have recommended us to go after is a mix of influencer, advertorial, and display. Each of those kind of range in price and reach, but with the budget that we have right now, which is, just under, or sorry, just at, $40,000 a month that we're going to be putting into these paid opportunities, you can expect a couple million impressions throughout these different things that we're going to be activated on. You'll start seeing some of this stuff pick up in the first or second week of January, and we should be hitting it very hard come February and beyond with that.
Thanks, Tom. So yeah, that's one of the things that there's always there's as everybody's aware, like there's different segments of the operation or of the DAO, right? So you have Tom working on a lot of the marketing stuff. You have Cris, and Preston, and our new dev, Voith, who I'm not sure is here today. He's been really busy working on a lot of things that Cris will update on. But the devs are doing a great job deving and getting things done. And Brendan's doing a wonderful job with the community. And I'm over here trying to do all the things I do. So everybody's going full force into working on things. So I just wanted to start off with the marketing, because I know that's one thing that the community asks about a lot. On December, what day was it? December 13th, Coinbase custody added CTX as an option, which was really cool for them. So um, anybody using Coinbase custody can deposit CTX or withdraw CTX. That was nice to see. We also had, and one thing I know, Green Guys is here, and on the 25th we got a very nice surprise from the AMP community. Um, Wonderful, wonderful people over there. Flexa Network added CTX as a payment option. So now, it's in 42 or just over 41,000 merchants in the US and Canada. That was super cool. So, Green Guys, thank you. We really appreciate the work with the AMP community and it was nice to see them do that, and definitely something that we'll be exploring in the near future. More ways to work with them and more ways to get things done. Oh, he's up here. Hey, buddy. Well, thank you. And again, if everybody over at AMP, please send them our well wishes for the holidays, and we look forward to building a really, really cool relationship. The team is aware of what they did for us, and any ways that we could work together in the future. We'll be more than happy to accommodate. So okay, yeah. So we talked a little bit about Coinbase custody. We talked about AMP. One thing that I want to bring up is with single sided staking. We definitely we set the bar, very, very high, 400,000 CTX, for voting. And it's remarkable that in such a short period of time, like we're literally like flirting right around that level. But one of the things that some days we're over 400, some days we're a little under 400, but there are proposals, that need to be passed, right? Like there's a couple things, and in the mission to keep this protocol fully decentralized, the more that it's staked to single-sided staking, the better for the community, right? So this is not financial advice. This is not, investment advice, but we're here to operate on a fully decentralized basis. And the crypt keepers, are the community delegates. They're the ones that speak on behalf of the, community. When we come with proposals, they're the ones that are voting on them. And we have a couple here, and if we can keep that barrier over 400K, that'll be wonderful, because there are things that we want to push, like we have Link and Aave. Those are collateral options for TCAP ready to come on board, and a couple other things that are key to getting done. So we want to keep this all fully decentralized, so that the closer we are to 400, the more that we could accomplish. So um, just wanted to kind of put that out there. Waiting back, and then lastly, before I turn it over to Chris, waiting back on Chainlink for a couple of things. We've been working on a totally new project, or totally new token with the Chainlink team. It has never been done before. It is completely unique to Cryptex, and the oracle that's being created is being created for us. So we've been going back and forth with them on this. We should have some more information from them, I believe, the week of the 6th of January, either the 6th or the 13th. But we've also been waiting for a TCAP Optimism Oracle. That's the easier part. So I think that should be coming pretty soon. And then Chris will give an update on when that's being deployed, as well as some other stuff that's going on the L2 networks. And that's basically that on the front that I've been dealing with, is that we kind of put together this whole new concept. Really, really cannot wait to say what it is. I think everybody's gonna be really happy, and it's a super cool idea. But again, we're trying to accomplish things that have never been done before, and do stuff that's never been done before. So sometimes these things take a little bit of time. You got to get them right. And the beautiful thing about TCAP is, you have the foundation, you have the audits, you have the proof of work that it does function. And taking that system and then adding different oracles or different things, that's kind of like the foundation of how I want to go forward with rolling out new and exciting solutions. So definitely keep your eyes out. I think Q1 of this year of 2022 is going to be a very, very cool time. where a lot of the things that have been simmering and that we've been working around the clock on the latter part of this year are all going to start coming to fruition. So before we get to Cris and then we get to Q&A, or Brendan Fraser, if he has anything to say from the set of Batgirl, I would expect Q1 to be really cool. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Cris. We can get some cool updates on dev. Cris?
Yeah, so we will focus on doing some like low hanging fruit of the stuff that we know that can improve the overall user experience, and not counting like the new collateral walls that are like ready to be deployed. I mean, the only thing missing on that side is that we have the 400k CTX staked on keepers, and then we are, I mean, the scripts and everything is ready. It's like having the vote enabled in order to create these proposals and make a formal vote. So the reason why we are not doing like with the CTX deployed in the multisig is because we want to use that multisig, I mean that CTX and the multisig for liquidity farming and the community grants that we specified on the release post. So once we have like that 400k, we are going to start like moving that CTX to the DAO and into the different like pools that we are like already voted and want to move it. That way we are going to like further decentralize the protocol and move fast, because that's an issue, right? Like having to vote for everything and not having like the voting is going to take a lot of time. But once we have this amount, it's going to help us like doing these things quicker, and also it's going to help the keepers. So, but there are another things that we can do to improve the protocol that doesn't require a vote, like for example deploying on different layer 2s. If you remember, we had a demo on Polygon, and the only thing that was missing was a governance model. Because we didn't want to deploy on Polygon or any layer 2 the same protocol with not governance. So Voith, that Voith is in the chat right now. I mean in the audience. I think we can move it here if you want to speak about this. But Voith right now is working on the governance model for Polygon, and we already have a Polygon chain oracle for TCAP. So once the model is ready and audited and talked with the Polygon team, we are going to be ready on that. Optimism, we are like, Optimism is like OVM compatible, like almost at 100%. It was really easier for us to build the governance model. So the governance model is ready, and the Cryptex contracts are ready and already deployed on the Optimism Coven testnet. The only issue we have with Optimism is that we don't have an oracle, so we are waiting for an oracle. We talked with the Chainlink team, and maybe around the first weeks of January we are going to have the oracle. So once that's ready, we are like ready to deploy. We can also deploy with new assets over there besides the ones that we already have, and after we have Polygon and Optimism, we are going to move into Arbitrum, that we already know how to deploy over there. We just need some kind of time to actually start working on that. But it didn't really make sense to try to deploy into the three platform at the same time. We want to see how the community engage and everything before like moving into Arbitrum. And another thing that is really important is like right now this is like the same protocol that we have. Everything is going to be voted by the keepers on mainnet. So if we want to add a new vault, or if we want to do something with the configuration of the vaults on Optimism Polygon, or Arbitrum. The keepers can vote on mainnet, and that vote is going to be reflected on layer. So that's a pretty cool feature, which is going to allow us to use the same CTX for governance the whole protocol in any network that we deploy. And we are only going to deploy on networks where CTX is going to keep this ability and in a decentralized way. So, or at least the most decentralized way. So that's the update related to layer 2. And once we finish that, we're going to, like I was mentioning, this is the same protocol, but for the next version of the bolts, we want to be able to mint TCAP or any asset that we deploy into from mainnet into layer 2 or from layer 2 into mainnet. So right now, TCAP on mainnet is not the same as TCAP on Polygon or TCAP Optimus. So we are going to need to do like an update for being able for managing like all these assets in like everything is the same asset. So you can have more arbitrage opportunities over there. But for that, we need like more fixes, and we didn't want to start with that. We wanted to start like just deploying everything over layer and see how community use that. But this is going to be fixed on Vault V2, which once we finish this migration, we are going to start working on them. So expect us like working on the new version early this year. We don't, of course, we don't have any time because we are starting. Like we have a lot of ideas. We don't really have like, a roadmap or anything yet, so we can provide like at the moment. And the last one is that Jorge, which is a front-end developer, he's working right now on open the keepers API. So what it means is that if you want to be a keeper, you're going to be able to apply as a keeper on the website. You're going to deploy the contract itself, but everything is going to be handled in the interface, and it's going to publish it on the website. Right now, you have to pick one of us and say, "Hey, I want to be a keeper," and you need to do like a guided process. So this is going to help to allow anyone that wants to be a keeper. So I guess that's all the developers updates we have right now. Not sure if I'm missing anything, but if I recall anything, I would say.
Thanks, Chris. And Brendan, if you wouldn't mind getting Voith up. Voith is our newest hire, and thank you. And we went through I mean, applicant wise, a lot of people. And Preston and Chris, they are both extraordinarily gifted developers. And for us, it was kind of like trying to find somebody that we could all work with, and that was incredibly talented at what they do. So after going through, I can't even say how many candidates because there was quite a few. We came across Voith, and he just really, really clicked with the team and the project. So, Voith, if you wouldn't mind, maybe talking a little bit about some of your background and making an introduction to the community and maybe something that you're working on right now, that would really, really be cool.
Oh, sure. So, well, speaking of my background, I have been in the Ethereum space since early 2018. I was in a fintech company before, and someone introduced me to Ethereum. So, the way I got started is I started contributing to Ethereum open source Python tooling, and just so that I could understand how Ethereum works. And I got really hooked onto it. So then I worked for some DeFi companies, and recently I did my apprenticeship at the Ethereum Foundation. That was like understanding how the protocol really works. So, and now I'm here. So, what I'm working right now is I'm making sure that we have code for deploying on Polygon. So I'm working on the layer two side of Polygon to deploy TCAP. So I have the code ready. In fact, I was supposed to have a pull request for it today, but I had some personal commitments. Uh, but yeah, it's coming soon. The Polygon L2 stuff is coming soon. That's all I have.
Thank you, Voith. Appreciate the update there. And I think unless anybody has anything else, I think now would be a really cool time because I'm hearing a lot of different messages over here. So I think it'll be really cool to go to the community and let's see a ton of questions. So let's start from the top here. So first we got When Lambo, we got the Kenta who answered that correctly. Noontide, you got the Taurus, man. So definitely enjoy that. You have the coveted Ford Taurus. Can't tell you when you're gonna get a Lambo. Four Knees, are there any plans to use Wrap BTC decentralized protocol on the ETH chain? Has Cryptex looked into or is on the team's way that the ICP dev clean can run ETH smart contract on the ICP platform? So the first one I could answer. The second one I think we'll give to Chris. Are there any plans to use Wrap BTC on the ETH chain? So when we first launched TCAP back on April 7th, we originally had Wrap BTC as a collateral option for minting. However, one thing that we ran into was a decimal place issue. Everything else, I believe, is 18 decimals. Wrap BTC, I believe, is 8. So we had to create a fix for that. But I think, and Chris can also interject at any time, I think we kind of got a little overwhelmed with a lot of other things that we were building that needed to get pushed. So I'm not sure that we're not going to do it. I think we are. I just think it's kind of like one of those things where it's a matter of time, and just getting it done. Is that correct, Chris? Did I answer that one right?
Yeah, I think with Void help is going to be something that we can work.
Awesome. And then, Chris, the second question, has Cryptex looked into or is it on the team's radar that the ICP dev team claims they could run ETH smart contract on the ICP platform? You have any comment about that?
Let me check where's the question. ICP. I'm not really sure what ICP.
Okay, we can come back to that one in the thread. AJ5, what expectation did McCann set with how many people they will reach for us? Will McCann work on social media platforms for us like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter? Well, I think, and Tom can interject here at any time because he works with McCann a lot. I think the impressions for what we're spending, I think the impressions will be, in the millions. Millions of people will see what it is we have to say from marketing efforts. I'm not sure how many people will reach millions. I'm not sure how many people will come through just yet. Tom, do you have any ideas on that?
Yeah, I mean, like you just said, Joe, with the budget that we have allocated for these advertising efforts, the awareness or at the top of the funnel, it'll probably be a couple million impressions that are there. Again, that's going to be divvied up between influencer, advertorial, and display. Specifically within the crypto space or crypto sources, and then in terms of our own social channels, the work that we did with McCann helped get us to excuse me, helped get us to core values that we have as an organization, and when we're creating original content, how we should be hitting on these different pillars, and also the type of tone of voice that we should be using. So from our own channels and our own, community, It's about the original content that we're creating and ensuring that that's being written within our values and it's being hitting on our audience. So those are kind of the two differences there between what we're doing with paid and what we can expect, and then the enhancements that you're going to see on our own original content and our channels that we currently have.
Thanks, Tom. And the follow-up to that was, what is our strategy to grow our community organically? Who is leading these efforts? We haven't seen much growth on StockTwits, Discord, etc. So with regards to StockTwits and this question, one of the things with StockTwits is that I believe they use like Crypto Compare for their APIs, right? And for whatever reason, we have had a difficult time working with their team, who are awesome people. We speak to them a lot. I mean, Howard, Lindzen, the co-founder of StockTwits, great friend of mine, great guy. But for whatever reason, we've had a little bit of an issue getting the chart up there. So not against working with them. And I think that, in Q1, it'll be a much bigger pickup with regards to StockTwits and Discord. But, it's kind of like a double-edged, like the question is like, how do we grow the community organically? Well, I mean, you could argue it two ways. Like, we've done a lot, or there's still a lot to do. You have an asset that, basically with zero promotion has, reached 50 countries, is now accepted in, 41,000 merchants, has traded hundreds of millions of dollars in volume, with literally like zero public marketing except organic growth, and now that we're turning on the marketing, we've hired one of the best marketing agencies on the planet. We would imagine that that's going to be incredibly beneficial to, growing. But in terms of organic growth, we have Brendan Fraser, who, works with communities and different teams to, raise awareness of CTX. One of the people that, we've worked with is, the green guys, and getting, amps. So it's like people kind of come to us organically, and then they kind of like go into different branches and things just happen. So, it's like a double-edged question, like, how do we continue growing, which I'm totally on board with. And that's why we're bringing on, some bigger guns to help out with that.
Yeah, to add to that a little bit, with each channel that we open up for people to congregate and build a community on, it takes, Herculean effort in order to grow that from, zero to what a couple hundred, a couple thousand, members. So the StockTwits is definitely something that's newer, and it's not per se a top priority channel, right? We've started with Reddit, with Twitter, and with Discord. StockTwits is there. We are doing some paid advertising with them, so that should help see some of that growth on the channels themselves. But I also want to share, there's no better or stronger way to grow the community organically than everybody that's in this community to share, whether it's by word of mouth, whether it's on the internet. We need the groundswell. We need the community to be able to share and to also help grow and pull people in as well. So the newer channels, we're a small but mighty team. But we'll put some more emphasis. And thanks for sharing these questions on StockTwits more specifically, and we'll grow our presence there. We haven't done a lot, right? We set it up, and it's kind of there, but that can be. We will add this as a focal point now to build that up a little bit more, since people keep asking about it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Tom. Let me see here. I see a lot of questions about exchange listings. I definitely want to address this for anybody that's new, because again, this is a question that comes up a lot, and it's pretty much self-explanatory in the chat. the answer to it. The goal here obviously is to build a fully decentralized future, right? That's our goal. That's how we've been operating from day one. It's been a community-driven project from day one. It'll be a community-driven project on day 10,001, right? Like that's what we're here to do. The problem is that on a centralized basis, these companies still operate on a legality perspective, right? So if I come out with any type of information or our team comes out with any type of information on any conversation with any exchange globally, then that puts any potential listing to the community in jeopardy, because you can't leak any information from anywhere. We've said this from day one. Any listing will come directly from that source, which then we will share with the community. And that protects, first and foremost, the community. It protects the project. It protects the team. So at no time will we ever disclose any listing information. It's not being a dick. It's just we're running a legitimate operation here. We're trying to operate everything 100% above board at all times. And that is what benefits the community the most. Not, leaking. Like I saw even a couple of days ago on Twitter, projects are saying shit. And it's like, it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit to just pump the price. And that is no regard for the vision and no regard for decentralization. Like the price is going to move of anything with hard work and with getting things done. That's a tangible project. That's something that, you'd want to be involved in if you're going to be staking, or if you're going to be, a crypt keeper, or if you're going to be any protocol delegate. You're here for the future of decentralization. And sometimes, these things, they take a little bit of time, but, don't think that every day, we're not out here saying, okay, what can we do to make this better? What can we do to grow the protocol? What can we do to speak with whoever we have to speak with? Those things are all being done. It's just, unfortunately, we can never get specific or talk about who it is that we're working with, because that would jeopardize the entire situation. So I wish I had more to share with regards to that, but unfortunately, the community I see a lot of people pretty much answered it self-explanatory. So, we'll continue. We'll continue going here. Let me see what else we got. Okay. When Cryptex swag. What's up, Mike? And Mike, thank you so much for all your work on the API stuff you've been doing. So Mike basically moonlights a lot. He's like, it's crazy. Like he just kind of does a lot of different stuff. And I just want to take a moment to say, Mike, I know, you and I, we really don't talk too much. I know you kind of work with Preston and Chris a lot, but I just want to recognize Mike for a lot of the front end API stuff he's been doing. Thank you so much. We love having you here. And shout out to Mike. What else do we got here? Yep, we have a community managed Facebook group now as well, thanks to the Green Guys. Really appreciate you setting that up. Green Guys is doing a lot of really, really cool stuff. Thank you again for all your contributions. Brendan just kind of answered the question. So he's going to be done filming Batgirl in early 2022. So, the swag is definitely something that we want to get for the community. Super, super important. And as soon as we have it, everybody will be able to, participate in that. So Brendan, thank you for taking the time today on the set to jump on the call. Always appreciate you answering some questions. I saw one up here that was really cool that I want to kind of go back and find. Where was it?
The one about the LP rewards.
Yes. You read my mind. You want to take the question?
Yeah, so the question is from Tenkat asking about if we are going to have like layer 2 rewards So this is a topic that we've been discussing a lot. For example, Polygon, we can get some matching on some assets, but the real issue is that if we move CTX to any layer two, that CTX is going to be lost for governance, not something that we want. So we might need to design some kind of mechanism that allows that CTX to be a staker or something. So we can have like some kind of cross communication on the layer 2 CTX. So like saying, hey, if you have CTX deployed, you can stake it and stake it back to layer 1. Something like that. Like this is really crazy. I have never seen someone doing that. Like staking your CTX and optimism, and that optimism stake it back to layer 1 on Ethereum. You have your asset on optimism, but it's taken on layer 1. So that, like I say, that's something that I never have seen done, but that's something that could fix that issue. Because I'm pretty sure that once we are in layer 2, go back to layer 1. At least there's a lot of people over there. But definitely, I would love to have like some kind of incentives over there. I've tried Optimism using Uniswap V3 is really cool for decap, as you can have like I mean, we don't expect the cryptocurrency market to move like really crazy in the sense that you can create a specific pool of UniV3, so that's going to help in that sense. I also want to touch on deep CTX questions about deploying on different networks. We can deploy, and we are going to promote deploying to any layer 2 that is like deeply connected to Ethereum, and that's because of decentralization thing that we care a lot. So expect us deploying arbitrary ones to Polygon. That I know Polygon is more centralized than Optimism or Arbitrum, but Polygon has like a lot of plans to be a layer 2 like Optimism. That's the reason why they are investing so much on rollups like that. I hope we could deploy to CK rollups, but CK rollups requires more technical and a new programming language like Sync and Cairo. So we will like create a new protocol on that side. And 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 yeah, Avalanche and BSC and different networks, they are like EVM compatible in the sense that we can deploy it over there. But there's no real incentive, as it's like putting our competition or like ourselves being our own competition. So I mean, we can do it, but at least from our side, we are not going to prioritize unless the community says so, and we find some way to connect it directly to CTX. But I'm pretty sure we can do it at some point. So just those two questions.
Got it. Thanks, Chris. Are there any? Let me see if there's anything else that we're missing here.
By the way, I will be open to deploy. I mean, not like the amounts we have on mainnet, but I am open to move like some CTX to Optimism just to test this farming stuff. And I don't know if Optimism has uh, like Olympus Pro or anything, so we can give it a try also on that side.
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely something. Definitely something that we can propose. We would propose that, right? If that was something we wanted to do.
Yeah, we will need a vote from the keepers, and that's
Got
all.
it. Got it. The team is doing God's work. Decentralization is the future. Keep it up, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot. We have a new phrase that we love to use around here. It takes an army, and we're kind of realizing that there's always going to be 1,000 things to do, and it's just a matter of prioritizing, what we think is best, and then proposing that to the community, and then the community, deciding on what they want to do. But really, really appreciate the kind words. It's everybody that we have here is fully involved, and the devs are doing everything that they can do, to get things pushed out. Tom and Brendan are working community and marketing, and I'm doing everything I can as well. So we're actively growing the team as well. So we're always happy to review hires and look at new people, and just try to stay in line with our mission of getting TCAP, CTX, and everything else that we create, in the hands of the world. That's the goal here. And if anybody says otherwise, then I don't really know what to tell you. But that's what our mission is, and I think that we have a good chance to accomplish that, and make a difference, and make the future of this, as completely decentralized as possible, while rolling out really, really cool things. So thank you again for your kind words, and appreciate you recognizing the team and how hard they work. I want to take a couple more questions. We have a little bit more time, so if anybody has any questions, please continue, because this is a lot of fun. Where do you see CTX? We cannot comment on the price of CTX, so you're more than welcome to speak to the community about that, what their thoughts are. But utility wise, I think the goal is for CTX to power an entire ecosystem of cryptech solutions, right? So our first launch, was TCAP. That was the first solution that we created. But that's not going to be the only one, right? But one thing you want to do is continue to innovate, and a part of innovation is, the time it takes in developing new and exciting solutions that hopefully benefit the world. So I think where do I see CTX being? Ultimately, it's going to be what powers this entire, ecosystem of solutions, and people will be able to vote on everything from, treasury management to, new solutions they want to see us create, new vaults, and everything like in between. The community has the power to vote. It has the power to make proposals, and the bigger that the community gets, the more people can decide on the future of it. And I think that's kind of how we've always envisioned CTX as being, the gateway to creating new things that don't exist and bringing them to the world. And that's kind of how I see it being used. And I apologize if I thought your question was about price and not utility. And thank you for correcting me. Okay, what else do we have here? We'll take a few more. I see a couple people typing. Yeah, Mike, I believe Brendan is recording, so we can share this call once the event is concluded. Brendan, make sure you ping Mike and let him know that.
Definitely will do.
Thank you. Yeah, Vision CTX holds to get revenue from the protocol in the future once TCAP license go, of course. And that is absolutely something that can be proposed. That's the beauty of this. It can be proposed by the community, and if the community votes for it, then it'll get done. And what makes me happy with regards to the keepers that I'm seeing is they're all incredibly engaged with the community. Our buddy here who's talking about what he envisions and what he sees. The Kenta, he has what I believe is the most CTX staked out of every keeper. So he's very active in the community. He's always speaking. And just super super helpful in answering questions. So this is something that can be proposed in the future. We're not against it, but it's still very very early in the game, and sometimes I think people take for granted that this is a marathon. This is not a race. And you're here for the future of a decentralized world, and sometimes good things take a little bit of time. But just don't think that every day that we're not out here working on all this stuff or trying to make it happen, because we are. And that's pretty much what I have to say is I think Q1 is going to be really cool, and I look forward to the next wave and where we take this protocol, not just in a month from now, but in 5-10 years from now. And that's basically that. And then AJ5, it was mentioned we are spending $40K a month with McCann. How many months do we plan on working with them? As Tom says, indefinitely. We have a wonderful relationship so far. We intend to have a long-term relationship with them. They're great people. Been nothing but nice to us so far. They have to approve who they work with, and getting approved to work with them was really cool. So, like Tom says, as long as the community continues to approve the budget based on the work that they do, I don't see that we would have a shorter relationship with them. I think that would be a much longer thing. Tom mentioned somewhere the benefits of working with McCann to drive out core values. I didn't identify the only one in the project. Are these things shared somewhere or should be? What's up, Desert Dweller? Yes, they are. I think Tom just shared a link with you to review. But also, I believe, you're welcome. I believe last week or the week before, he was having sessions, like little breakout sessions with the community on some of the things that McCann was proposing or what they think. And I'm not sure. Brendan Fraser, did we have those recorded or not? Those Tom's meetings?
No, we didn't record those.
Okay, but sorry, Desert. So we do have the documents for you to look at. Tom saying, start at page 93. Feel free to read the entire thing. I mean, the more knowledge is power, right? So feel free to read everything that you want to read there, and any questions that you have, definitely let us know, and Tom or Brendan will be happy to answer those. I'm curious about how 400K CTX was chosen as the minimum for passing proposals. Could you speak to how that was decided on? I think that was Preston and Chris. Chris, do you have any comment on how that was decided on?
Yeah, that's actually the standard of every protocol. So that's like 4% of total supply of CTX. That's the same for Uniswap, Compound,
Got it.
and a lot of protocols that use the compound governance model.
Right.
It's like 1% for voting, for making a proposal, and 4% for passing a proposal of the quorum voting. So it's pretty much the purpose of this is to prevent that any kind of proposal without enough engagement passes. And that's one of the main, one of the things that we did to start was trying to send CTX and to distribute CTX the more we can, so that way this burden is able to pass. So right now the issue, I feel like 400K is a low number, but I feel like one of the reasons why votes don't pass is because people right now have their CTX on their exchanges, and of course the exchanges doesn't have any way to vote right now, so that's an issue. So one way to prevent that is moving the keepers or increasing the rewards or anything from CTX, but by staking. Um, and, and of course, this number can be changed. You deploy everything. I mean, the governance models. So it can be done, but at this time, I feel like it's just easier to to move that CTX and to enable to vote. So we are like missing like 30K or something CTX. So it's not like a huge number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty small, and just to recap a little bit with regards to single-sided staking is in a month the community hit that number. Like literally, it was like 1 month and that number was hit. So I got to agree with Chris and think that it's a big number, but it's not. And as awareness and recognition of CTX and Cryptex, continues to rise, and more people get involved through, marketing efforts or different campaigns that will be taking place, I think that you'll see that become much more study, and it already is. I mean, like he was saying, I think some days we're 10,000 below. Some days, these are not. I'd be much more concerned if I was looking at this and I'm saying, okay, we have 400,000 CTX that we need stake. We have 10,000 stake. Like it's really not that significant, and I don't think that this is going to be like a situation. But if we have the number at 400 or above, we could push out proposals much more rapidly, which will help increase the things that we want to accomplish, which will help increase the reach of the DAO. It's all relative, and I think that the more that we analyze these things and kind of get them done and it's raise awareness to the community of, hey, this is kind of what we need. I believe the community has been incredibly receptive, and to me, one of the biggest views of you all is seeing that number hit like right away. Like there could not be a stronger vote of confidence in what we're working on than reaching that target and getting there so quick. And then obviously, look, people are going to earn rewards. We're not here to say what the price of something is going to do. I have no idea. But what I'm going to say is that the closer we are to 400 and over 400, the more things that we could accomplish together, and the more things that we could push out. And that's basically that. How much more CTX do we need to stay? I think it's, I don't know, 20. Some days it's 10K. Some days it was 5. Some days it's 20. People are going to do what they do, and we're not here to tell them what's right or wrong with that. You do whatever you want. But if we could have over 400, we can get things done quicker. So with that said, that's pretty much a little bit on that. And let me see what else we have coming through here. We'll take 2 more. Yeah, exactly. We've been above it and we've been below it. So some the days that we're above, we can get votes passed, and the days that we're below, we kind of need to get back above. And that's kind of the answer there. So.
But how it works is that when you create a proposal, like the network gets a snapshot of where the CTX is. So let's say I create a proposal right now. So everyone that has staked CTX or anything have 400K, it just stay there. If someone sells, let's say 10K or remove their delegation, still that the number is going to be 400K because that's when the snapshot was taken. So pretty much what it means is like we need to make sure that the voting is done. I think it happened once when we had like the first testing sessions for the airdrop. We had, I think, Tinka increased his keeper stake like by 50K or something like that, but it wasn't reflected because the snapshot was taken before that movement. So it's something that we need to be careful about it. It's a good thing actually if we take the snapshot or we make the vote before someone.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I think every bit helps. In terms of what's staked. So that'll be super helpful. Everything that you're being told by the community is absolutely correct here. And again, I would always, if anybody ever has any questions or wants things, to go to the keepers. The keepers are here. They're protocol delegates. They're here to speak, on things that we work on and we do, and they could always answer questions. Again, none of this is financial advice or investment advice. We're not here to comment on the prices of certain things, but we are here to have a fully decentralized world, and this is what kind of helps get that done. So thank you, Chris, for answering that question. We'll take one more, and then that will be it for today. Or that'll be it for the call. Okay. Well, if nobody has any further questions for the team, I'd like to just wish everybody a very. Oh, we got one more. What is the most CTX that's been staked so far? I think like 410. If anybody from the team can say, I think like 408 or 410 was the most, but it's kind of been in that band. Of yeah, there you go. It was a bit over 400K. So, and like Desert saying, I don't, with everything going on and everything that's being worked on, I would be much more concerned if I'm looking at this and I'm seeing 10,000 CTX with a target of 400 versus 380 to 405 in somewhere ranging, in that situation, and I'm not the slightest bit not confident in what's going on here. So, that's pretty much what I have to say on that. But with that, I'm gonna let everybody get back to work here, and just want to say, everybody have a wonderful new year. Thank you for spending a part of your day with our team and asking really great questions and getting some updates. And I hope that this was incredibly informative for everybody. And really looking forward to what Q1 brings in 2022. So thank you all again. And if anybody from the team has anything that they'd like to part with, please feel free. But last but not least, one more time, everybody that's contributing, everybody that's in the coordinates, everybody that's working to integrate us with other protocols and other things, thank you so much for all your contributions. They really mean the world to us. And we look forward to seeing what happens in 2021, 2022.